I went live now. I don't know how long it's gonna last. Might only be 30 minutes, but I want to go live for a little bit. So, we got a couple different stories to talk about. Now, first one is gonna be out of California. It's gonna be about a California Cypress college professor that flips out after a student calls police heroes. Now, this is honestly not surprising because it is California. Now, California college student and his communication professor got into a tiff during a virtual class this week after he delivered a presentation against cancel culture and defended police as heroes. Educator told 19-year-old student Brandon Ellis, a business major, that police were created in the American South to track down runaway slaves and suggested that policing is inherently a form of systematic racism. Appreciate it. Now, Ellis decided to identify the structure Friday and said he would like to maintain some privacy for it, even though video encounters went viral. Now, me personally, if I was that student, I would have put her all over social media, all over Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere. And I would have took it a step further to take it above her to the school board. Because you have no right to downgrade somebody just because they have support for law enforcement. That's not how it works. Now, the video first reported by Daily Mail shows Professor Priya interrupting Tony over Ellis as he tries to defend his point following a presentation. Alright, and again, people are not gonna like the police. People are not gonna. That's just how America is right now. But you, as a professor, a college professor at that, you have to have some kind of restraint on that. You have to have some kind of restraint, and if you're asking people to do a presentation, then you gotta figure at some point in time, people are gonna talk about police, and it just so happens that you don't like police, and you feel like they are tracked down slaves, and they were used back in the old days, tracked down slaves as form of to hunt black people. That's not how it is. All right, that's just a myth that a bunch of people made up, and people are using it now to act like they're cool when they're really not. Again, everybody likes to talk about the police, but they never had any interactions with the police. LeBron James is a prime example of that. I seriously doubt he's had any kind of interaction with the police other than the police officers that are there on court with the team and the coaches when he goes on basketball games. Other than that, he probably had no interaction with the police, but he loves to put his personal opinion out there like he knows what he's doing, alright? Again, Ma'Khia Bryant was the big one that everybody really stood up, alright? You don't know what you're doing, alright? Everybody's talking about, he could have used a taser, he could have fired warning shots. Again, I'm not a police officer, but I've done ride-alongs, I've done explorers. Alright, so when you are out there in the prime of the moment, you're not going to think about firing warning shots. You're not going to think about tasing her, alright? And tasers are not always effective. Number one, this was a big girl. So, taser probably wouldn't have worked. Number two, if she was wearing baggy clothing, the taser would not have worked. If she was high on any kind of drugs, it probably wouldn't have worked. If she was drunk, it probably wouldn't have worked. So you gotta take all that into consideration. Alright, and as far as firing warning shots, that makes no sense whatsoever. That's just a waste of ammo. And you don't know if another person got a gun and they just fire on you, open fire on the officer. Alright, and who says the warning shot would have even worked? Warning shot might not even work. She would have just kept stabbing this girl. As far as pepper spray goes, not only is pepper spray going to affect the girl with the knife, it's going to affect the victim that was about to get stabbed. So the girl could just start swinging wildly, and that girl could have been dead. Alright, it also affects the officer's vision, his breathing, and everything else. As far as the Amazing Lucas goes, you asked why I attacked him. Now, let's see, about 6 months ago, I was following him. He was a great YouTuber, alright? He was great. To me personally, he's changed, alright? The way I look at it is, there are people that I come in contact with on YouTube daily that had no respect for me, and that's fine, alright? I will probably never meet these people in my life that disrespect me, alright? And that's fine. It's YouTube. You're gonna have people that like you, you're gonna have people that don't like you, alright? The reason I don't like him, one, I feel like he's changed, alright? Number two, I feel like he has no respect for law enforcement. Those are the top two reasons right there. Number three, he loves to call people names. He loves to call people out. Alright, he can call them trolls, he can call them OTLs, bootlickers, clowns, calls them stupid, says their opinions are stupid. Alright, it's an opinion. Alright? And as far as calling people out, that's your right to call people out. You can call people out all day long. I do it. Alright? But when you get called out yourself and you can't back yourself up, then there's a problem. Like, people steadily call him out, and all he does is he'll turn off the comments so nobody can comment on it, and he'll turn off the like and dislike ratio. So he's pretty much hiding from the truth, alright? You know your subscriber count is dropping, alright? I mean, he's lost almost 100,000 recently, alright? As far as him, again, that's his right if he wants to call out people, but you're going to continue to drop in subscribers. Number one, because YouTube's algorithm is going to make you drop. Alright, they don't want people to succeed who have anything to do with politics. And the way his channel is, he started out with high support for Trump, high support for law enforcement, alright? Now he's starting to change, but it don't matter. YouTube's algorithm is already in that mindset of we gotta drop him in subscribers, and now you're losing your people right along with it because you have no fan base, you have no support base there now. I mean, he's gonna drop under 400,000, I would say by July, if not sooner. He's gonna drop under 400,000. I mean, he's losing pretty much 1,000 every 5 days to a week. I mean, even if he changed now, I think it'd be too late. But we'll see. That's why I don't like him. Alright, now back to this. And since we started with California, might as well continue with California. Now, California plans to release 76,000 inmates, including violent felons. Now, 63 inmates convicted of violent crimes will be eligible for good behavior credits that shorten their sentences by 1/3 instead of the 1/5 that has been in place since 2017. That includes nearly 20,000 inmates who are serving life sentences with the possibility of parole. Now, if you're serving life sentences with the possibility of parole, you're pretty much saying that, these people are convicted of murder, crimes against women, crimes against children, armed robbery, assault with a deadly weapon. Those are the kind of crimes that are going to be life sentences with the possibility of parole. And you think that these people should just be let go because of so-called good behavior. Now, more than 10,000 inmates convicted of a second serious but non-violent offense under the state's 3 strikes law will be eligible for release after serving half of their sentence. So, if let's just say you run somebody over and you kill them, you're probably more than likely going to be charged with vehicular manslaughter. But at the end of the day, you're going to end up serving like 5 years in jail, 6 years at the most, for killing somebody. It's just like DUI laws. They never serve their full sentence. I've known so many people that have gotten injured and almost killed by a DUI. I've had people in my family run off the road by drunk drivers. There was an officer I know who almost lost his life and had to be medically retired because of a drunk driver. Again, it's stuff like that doesn't need to be let go. These people need to be charged just the same as murderers. If you go out there and you kill someone and you're drunk, you need to be charged same as somebody who shot somebody. Same thing. Alright, and people, well, they were drunk, they didn't know. At the end of the day, you know the difference between right and wrong. Whether you are sober or drunk, you know the difference. You know getting into your car drunk and driving is illegal. That's against the law. It's no different than if you take a gun out and you just go up and randomly shoot people. That's illegal too. But the media wants to turn it about, oh, well, they had all these problems, but a gun, oh my god, we need gun control. It shouldn't work like that. But it does. That's just how the world is. Excuse me, guys. Hello? Hey. Yeah. Alright. Alright, y'all. Alright, so, like I was saying, these people are 20,000 of them are serving life sentences. So you gotta figure, about 5,000 of them are probably murderers. I mean, that's how it is. Alright, and 10,000 convicted of a second serious but non-violent offense. I mean, that's probably falls under DUI. That could be a number of things. Alright, now, the same increased release time will apply to nearly 2,900 non-violent third strikers. Now, that probably includes, again, these people are on the third strike, so it could be anything, they just be non-violent, alright? Now, also as of Saturday, all minimum security inmates and work camps, including those in firefighting camps, will be eligible for the same month of earlier release for every month they spend time in a camp regardless of the severity of their crime. Alright, so, essentially regardless of the severity of their crime. Now, these people are minimum security inmates. Now, when I was in Explorers, they actually took us, at least in my state, they took us through the jail itself. There was 3 different levels. You had maximum security, you had pretty much medium security, you had a lower security, and then you had not even a jail cells. Alright, it was pretty much like it was a brick and a rectangle. That's it. But these people are out walking around, and they're in the area. Now, obviously, there's a security guard there, but these people were just walking around. They didn't have no room or anything. They just had a little cubicle, and that was it. Now, again, those people were in there for DUI without hitting nobody. Not paying traffic tickets, not showing up to court. Sometimes domestic violence, stuff like that, where you're not going to be in there for an extended period of time, but you're in there. And a lot of these people do these work on grounds or work outside of grounds due to get extra money or for good behavior. Now, I'm going to go ahead and read some comments here, as I ain't read none in a minute. Alright. Yeah, Albatross. He seems like a Democrat. He definitely does. Again, at one point I followed him for a long time. Now I don't follow him because he has no respect for law enforcement, and he just kind of does what he wants. I mean, he has no respect for anybody. Yeah, definitely albatross. I mean, especially when it comes to the police, everybody can justify anything now. Police officer shoots himself in self-defense, especially if it's a black person that was shot in a white cop. That black victim more than likely is going to get what he wants, he or she wants. That's just how it is. They're going to get what they want, and that's that. That's just the way America works. They think that police officers out there just targeting black people, and that's not the case. Now, another thing, let's go to Seattle, alright? Seattle police officers denied service at a chocolate shop. Now, again, a lot of people might be, oh, that's not that big of a deal. Alright, it is that big of a deal because this is not the first time it's happening at this shop, and this is not the only thing happening in Seattle towards police officers. Now, I'm going to talk about this first, and then I'm going to go a little further into detail about this and what also is going on in Seattle. Now, a Seattle chocolate shop said it was working to create a more inviting, inclusive, and cohesive community after reports of an employee allegedly refusing to serve a pair of police officers. Mike Sloan, president of Seattle's police officer, told Fox News that an officer and an officer trainee walked into a chocolate cafe store near Wallingford neighborhood when they were refused service. Now, I have to say that Seattle is still getting trainees, that looks like, which is crazy. Now, it's not going to make it that much of a difference because when you got officers leaving at 200, 300 officers a month, you're going to be outnumbered. And this trainee more than likely knows what he's getting into. He knows that, officers are disrespected. There's riots every night in Seattle. Seattle is one of the worst places right now to be a police officer. Other than places like, Chicago, New York, other than that. But Seattle's probably in the top 5 worst places to be a cop right now. Again, for Seattle police officers, I have to give a huge shout out to y'all because y'all deal with riots every night. Every single night since over the summer, y'all been doing riots. So pretty much for a year, y'all been doing riots. Even when the big fire was going out there were still people out there. Not like it was, but there were still 40, 50 people out there. Alright, now, with that being said, they were met with a bit of hostility, he said, but based upon the amount of pushback that the company has received from the public and across the nation, is that people are still really supportive of the police. Now, that's true. There are a lot of people that still support the police, alright? Just like Officer Corbin. He got $75,000 gifted to him because he was wrongfully removed from his job and he was placed on desk duty. He was wrongfully removed for a comment. And again, people called, they broke down the phone systems, they emailed letters, flooded their inbox, and they eventually got him back on the job. And he's back to where his job was. Now, that being said, he shouldn't have been that way to start with, but again, he's up to $75,000 gifted to him now, which is great. But he should have never been fired to start with, or placed on administrative leave to start with. Now, the Post-Millennial reported the officers were annoyed when one of them asked for a box of chocolates. The employee replied, "No, I won't serve you." Now, that employee should be fired. Not just because it's police officer, that employee should be fired anyways. Now, in a message posted to his Facebook page on Wednesday, Chocolate said the employees actually do not represent the company. Although we do respect this team's member freedom of speech, the actions in this instance do not represent our views as a company. Statement read, "Discrimination is not a practice that we believe in. We'll heal the divide within our city, and we are committed to being a safe and welcoming place for every one of our neighbors." Alright, so, again, this employee should be fired, and if he's not fired, that's a problem in itself. Because then that right there and there shows that you have no respect for law enforcement. Now, Post-Millennial reported that employees at the store have shown the same for police officers in the past. A third officer told the outlet he was for service at another chocolate location. Again, so you claim that's not your views. You say that little message, but if the employee's still there, it really don't matter. what your message is or what your beliefs are, because that employee is still employed at that location. Again, this officer needs to be, or this employee needs to be fired. There's no writing him up. There's no anything. You need to fire him. I mean, if I worked at a chocolate shop and a black person walked in and I said, I refuse to serve you, they would fire me. So what's the difference between that and a person saying to a cop, I refuse to serve you? There's no difference. The media is hyping everything up. They want you to think that all police officers are bad, just like that. And they want you to believe that all black people are great and all white people are against black people. That's how it is, alright? Now, like I said, going into Seattle and actually what's happening. Alright, the incident comes at a time when Seattle Police Department is losing officers. Nearly 100 officers quit last year and 66 officers so far this year. Alright? Now, if you think about it, 180 officers, some people might be, oh, that's not a lot, that's not a lot. That is a lot. That's a lot of officers to lose in 1 year time. Now, that's not the whole problem, alright? If you go further into it, when Seattle's having riot after riot, protest after protest, whatever you want to call it, I call it riots, but whatever y'all want to call it, alright? You have that night after night after night. There has to be officers down there to handle that. Alright, they can't just let them, burn down buildings. They can't let them just graffiti buildings, target courthouse. They can't allow that to happen. And if something serious happens, someone brings a gun, someone brings a knife, which has happened in the past. Multiple people got stabbed down in Seattle when they were doing this. Again, Trump supporters have been shot. So, they have to have officers down there for that kind of situation to stop it. And that takes the officers off the street right there when they're down there doing protests every night or doing riots every night. That takes the officers off the streets and puts them there. Alright, that 180 officers they lost, they could have been, who knows, 90 officers down there and 90 officers on the street. Alright, but now you have nothing there. That's gone. That's all gone. Alright, and another 66 officers have quit this month, and we're only into May. We just got into May today, so that means you're losing more than 10 officers a day, or 10 officers a week, a month rather, excuse me. Alright, you're at 66 officers lost so far this year, and we're only into the 5th month. Just got into the 5th month, and you've already lost 66. Again, you're losing more than 10 officers a month. Now, granted, some of them might be retiring, who knows? But a lot of these officers are not retiring. They just gave up with everything that's going on. They have gave up. And honestly, I don't blame them. Me and some of my friends were talking the other day, and they said, they had pretty much the same mindset as me in high school. We were going to graduate high school, join the police academy, go to college at the same time, move up to a better police academy. That's what was our whole goal. And now it's kind of like, well, we can't do that. And again, technically, yeah, we could still go be cops, but why would you? Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to risk your life every day for people who don't care, and for media and lawmakers to go against everything that you do, and for celebrities and athletes to criticize every move you make? And not only that, let's just say you get into a gunfight with somebody, you kill them, and now you go to jail for defending yourself. Like, nobody that I know wants to be a cop no more. Everybody that I knew wanted to be a cop didn't want to be a cop. And again, these people that I pretty much grew up with, like, I know them since middle school, and they had the same set mindset as me. Oh, we're going to be cops. We want to help our community. And now, why? Why would you want to do that? There's no point in doing it now, because you're just going to get blasted for everything you do. And again, just like California is releasing 76,000 inmates for early release. Why? What was the point of the cops putting them in jail if you're just going to release them? And it's not just Seattle that's facing officer shortage. It's Philadelphia. It's New York. It's Chicago. Think about it, these are all big cities. These are Democratic run cities where these officers do not want to work because they're not respected. They fear that they're going to go to jail for life. They fear that they're going to be ambushed, jumped. And that's just to name a few. Those are the ones that are really making the spotlight. Alright? It's crazy. Even down south, where you think officers are still respected, crime rate's not high, it's changing. It really is. Even in my county, I want to say maybe, I don't know, 200,000, 300,000 people, maybe 400,000. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. There's about 500,000 people. All right, so 500,000. Let's just go with that number. All right. This is where you think that crime rate's not gonna be high. You know, pretty tight knit community. All right. There are more officers being involved in high-speed chases. There are more officers that are being shot. There are more officers being attacked. There's more violent crime happening in my community, alright? And again, a lot of this is drug-related, but that's not the point. It's still expanding out. It's gang-related. There was a girl in a county that is pretty much notorious for gang members, and obviously every community is going to have their good part and their bad part, but they're known for gang members and gang territory. She was killed, and she was found in an area that virtually has no crime. So it's expanding out, and that's everywhere. But again, down here, you expect, officers to be respected. You don't expect shootings towards officers. It started out, nobody was shooting at anybody. Now there's shootings every day. There's drugs being inflowed. And now there are people running from cops at high rates of speed, shooting at cops. I mean, I don't know. It just don't make no sense. And at least down here, people still support the police in a way that is noticeable, alright? There are billboards that are put up that say, back to blue, we support the police. There was one in our neighborhood, they took it down, so they must have got vandalized or something. It said, I don't remember the name of the subdivision, but it said, whatever the subdivision name was, it said, we support law enforcement. So again, there are people out there that support law enforcement. A lot of these people don't show it because they're scared. They're scared of backlash that they're going to face, and they're scared of what might actually happen. And again, I feel like that's what happened with George Floyd. I feel like a lot of these jurors were scared of what was going to happen to them, their families, and their community, and that's why they voted the way they did. And again, that one juror came out and said she voted that way because she was scared of what was going to happen. She didn't want no more riots. She didn't want no more anything happening, so she voted guilty. That's not the way to do it. That is not the way to do it. And again, I wish I would have been on that trial. I really do. Because I would have voted not guilty. At least on, again, honestly, I think Derek Chauvin shouldn't be charged with murder or anything. I think he should be fired because he overused the policy. You can follow policy and still screw up and not do your job right like Derek Chauvin did. But I don't think he killed George Floyd. I really don't. So, again, if he appeals, I think he should. Cause he probably won't win it, though. That's the only thing. But he should appeal. But again, I wish I was on that case because, in my opinion, he's not guilty. He should be fired and be without a job. But as far as serving jail time, no, he shouldn't. But again, people are going to hate police whether you're white, whether you're black, Hispanic, male, female, LGBT community, whatever case may be. People are going to hate law enforcement, people are going to like law enforcement. And that all comes down to, one, how you're raised. But at the end of the day, you have to make a decision on whether what's right, what's wrong, alright? People all the time tell me, racism is taught, it's not developed. Alright, at the end of the day, if you continue to be racist, that's on you. Alright, like, the best way I always put it to people is, if you see your parents kill somebody for no reason, alright, you're gonna think that's right at an early age. Like, if you see that as a baby, you're like, oh, okay. But as time goes on, you're gonna realize that that's wrong. And whether you choose to live the life that way or live your life the right way, that's up to you, alright? Again, people can sit there and tell you that all day long, that white people are racist, black people are racist. Alright? You can say that all day long to anybody. But at the end of the day, especially if it's your child, if you got a 10-year-old child who obviously can't provide for him or herself, so they really have no choice but to listen to you. At the end of the day, at 10 years old, you know the difference between right and difference between wrong. Alright, that's how it is. If you go to school and you are openly racist, it's going to be dealt with at school. Alright, if you go to school and you act like you have common sense, you won't be dealt with that way. Same thing as you grow up, alright? If you go up to a grown man and you sit there and call him all kinds of racial slurs, whether you're white or black, you're probably going to get hit or shot in this day and time. Alright? It's no different. You gotta learn the difference between right and wrong. That's just how it is. Yeah, exactly, Theory. He's, in my personal opinion, he's not a murderer. Again, fentanyl is one of the most dangerous drugs out there. And yet, people decline to acknowledge that. Fentanyl, you can die from touching fentanyl, you can die from breathing fentanyl. This man was eating fentanyl. And not only was he eating fentanyl, he was eating meth. Those are the two highest drugs out there. Fentanyl beats every other drug. It's like a mix of 2 or 3 different drugs. And then you're eating meth on top of it. Again, this man was breathing just fine in a tiny compact car. No problem. He wasn't claustrophobic then. Police pull him out, then he's claustrophobic. Alright? Again, I still think that Derek Chauvin kind of went overboard. Again, he used policy. Again, Minneapolis teaches knee on the neck maneuver. So he used policy. But again, there's a difference between using policy and there's a difference between using policy and trying to get away with something. Again, I don't think he should be in jail, but I do think he should be fired. And as far as the other officers, Tao Chang and I don't remember the other one, but they shouldn't be charged either. Now, whether they actually get charged or not, you know, we'll see. I believe it's in August is their court date. I believe I want to say August 1st. So if it's August 1st, we got 3 more months. So we'll see how that goes. But if they're charged, then, you know, that's just ridiculous. Because one officer, number one, all he did was back up the crowd. The other officer had his legs pushed down. So, again, if they're charged, then there's I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if they're charged. I really wouldn't. Alright, so continue on to next story. Now, Texas Democrat official faces demands to resign for calling Tim Scott an Oreo. Alright, now, as far as Tim Scott goes, a lot of people don't like him because he is black and he's a Republican. A lot of people just don't like him. Now, me personally, he is in my state, and I think he does a good job, so I like him. Alright. Anyways, let's read into this a little bit. I had hoped that Scott might show some common sense, but it seems clear he is a little more than an Oreo with no real principles. Larimer County Democratic Party Chair Gary O'Connor wrote in a now deleted Facebook post referring to Scott's rich approach to President Biden's congressional address on Wednesday. Representative Pat Fallon, Republican of Texas, whose district includes Lamar County located in northeast Texas, advocated O'Connor for his comment on Friday in a press release. Fallon called the slur which refers to a black person who is perceived as acting white unforgivable. Alright? I don't know how you act white. That in itself is racist. How do you act white? That's like me going up to if you go up to somebody and say that in person, you're probably gonna get hit. Like, if somebody came up to me and said I was acting black, like, how do you respond to that? Or if you walk up to a black person and say, hey, you're acting too white, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Like, what does that even mean? That means, that in itself is a racist comment. And it's unforgivable. Well, how do you know you're doing it? I didn't know you had to act a certain way if you're white or act a certain way if you're black. But according to this person, you have to act a certain way if you're white and act a certain way if you're black. And if you're black and you act white, it's unforgivable. If you act white and you act black, it's unforgivable according to Gary O'Connor. Again, I don't understand how you act white or how you act black. Again, that in itself is a racist comment. Alright, so let's continue on. Gary O'Connor's comment against Senator Tim Scott is overbearing, assaulting, and unforgivable. Both he and the entire Democratic Party should be ashamed of their racist behavior, said Fallon. I agree. The first-term Congressman called on O'Connor to apologize and step down immediately for his racially charged comments, slurring and asking the Democratic Party and the NAACP to condemn these words. Fallon also said the party should take swift action to censor him. Alright, now I agree. So, as far as them going to the AACP and the Democratic Party, and as far as this person stepping down, well, he actually stepped down, probably not. But this leads to a whole conversation in itself, alright? Where is Governor Andrew Cuomo at? Where is he at? Why is he not in jail right now? Alright, again, and like I said before, I don't know if he actually assaulted these women or not. Who knows? Because I don't know. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know. But what I do know is he killed a bunch of elderly people. That's what I do know. Alright, Trump sent medical Navy ships over to him, and he declined to use them. He waited till the last minute to use them. He wanted to keep building medical tents. That's not how you operate in America. Alright? If the President of the United States sends you help, take it. Alright, it's not like Trump said, hey, I'm sending over medical warships with bombs in them. No, he sent over medical warships to help you deal with coronavirus. But instead, you want to continue to build medical tents, and you want to continue to put elderly people in nursing homes. Again, most of y'all already know I don't buy the whole coronavirus thing, but it does affect elderly people more, and yet you continue to put them all congregated together in a nursing home. So again, whether he actually assaulted these women or not, I don't know. The police should have plenty of time to figure that out, because he should be in jail for murder. How many people died in New York City? I say cut half that number and charge him with all those murders. But yet, there's nothing going on with Andrew Cuomo right now. Nothing going on with him. Alright, so again, whether O'Connor steps down or not, I seriously doubt it, even if he faces backlash. But again, if Trump was to say something like this, then, this man would be blasted on news for days, weeks. There'd be calls for him to resign. There'd be an impeachment going on right now. It's crazy how it works. Alright, now, this kind of behavior is not tolerable in Texas, United States, or any political party, Fallon said. Scott has faced a flurry of racial attacks after linking his ritual to Biden's address to Congress. Progressives labeled Scott Uncle Tim. Now, we all know where that's going. His name's Tim Scott, but the original word is uncle. Alright. Now, a play on racial slur, Uncle Tom, pushing the apparition to his trending topics for several hours. Again, how is a racial comment trending? Not even that. Progressives supposedly want peace and unity for everybody. Alright, You have a black man up here who is the senator, and you push it into Twitter's feed, and you let this trend for hours, and you're being racist. You call him an Uncle Tom. You got other people calling him other names. You let that trend for hours on Twitter. But Trump can't even get his Twitter page back because of what happened. And he didn't even do nothing wrong. Like, people all the time want to talk about it. But at the end of the day, this is what Trump said. He said, I want y'all to go out there and peacefully, and he emphasized peacefully and said it again, and patriotically make your voices be heard. He's not in control of these people. Alright? These people, at the end of the day, did what they wanted to do. That's on them. They did what they wanted to do. Alright? And again, whether people like it or not, there was Antifa and Black Lives Matter out there, but nobody wants to address that. Nobody wants to talk about that. But again, even if they were all Trump supporters, it don't matter. At the end of the day, these people did what they wanted to do. Alright? And everybody was talking about, what Mike Pence did, what Trump said, and they thought Mike Pence was in the Capitol. He wasn't. Mike Pence wasn't even in there. When Trump sent out that message and talking about Mike Pence, he wasn't even in the Capitol, and Trump knew that. Mike Pence even came out and said, I was not in the Capitol at the time. What's the big deal? And then Trump even came out later and said, we respect law enforcement. We need to be on their side. They're on our side. Go home. He said that, and then he came out again and said it. And all the media was talking about, he took too long to do it. Again, these people, they're on their own. They do what they wanted to do. Trump doesn't have a chip in them that can make them do what they want and not do what he doesn't want them to do. They're not robots. They don't have chips in them, and Trump doesn't have a button to control them, alright? So, but this is okay to y'all. And what y'all call the Summer of Love, where we had buildings being burned down and officers being shot, that's okay, according to them. Noah Green. Does anybody even know that name? Noah Green. Because nobody seems to realize that when I talk about that name. This was the black man who stormed the Capitol. Or not, it was stormed. He broke the barrier in the Capitol and charged the two Capitol officers. Alright, now one of them died from the car injury. Another one was seriously wounded by the car. And then this man gets out of the car with a knife, charges at officers, and is shot dead. But nobody wants to talk about that. They blamed it on mental illness and the loss of his job. So, it's okay. It gets better. When I did the video in Oklahoma about the Black Lives Matter protesters who stormed the Capitol, that's something that should make news. That's something that should be breaking news. That should be an insurrectionist, right? When Trump supporters did, oh my God, insurrectionists, the world's going to end. Joe Biden saying January 6th was worse than the Civil War. Worst thing ever in America. January 6th is probably worse than coronavirus, according to Joe Biden. Now, with that being said, 24 Black Lives Matter activists stormed the Capitol in Oklahoma. Not mentioned one time on any kind of news. Again, I had to find this through another YouTuber, Brandon Tatum, and then it was on a news site called Real News. You would think that this would be on like Fox News, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, MSNBC, CBS, something, but it's not, because they don't want you to see what's really happening. And the fact there was white people in there that were part of the group. There were white people getting in lawmakers' faces. I just don't understand how a group of Black Lives Matter protesters can storm the Capitol in Oklahoma City and nothing is said about it. But yet, January 6th is still being talked about in May. It is May, people. And they're telling Trump supporters that we need to get over it. Like, we didn't rig the election. Y'all did. So we have a reason to be upset. And we're not doing nothing about it. But yet, y'all don't get your way and you cause mayhem and destruction. Alright, I mean, I don't know. It's so backwards. And the fact that the media condemns people who support Trump or conservatives or Republicans, and the media highlights and glorifies people on the left who condemn or who support police reform, abolish police completely, and they think that's okay, and it's not. Alright, but moving on to the next story. This is going to be about Joe Biden again. Now, Joe Biden lost his mask for 30 seconds. Now, this person is fully vaccinated, so honestly, he shouldn't be wearing a mask anyways. Now, I'm not taking the shot, but if anybody wants to take it, go for it. I just don't think it's a good idea. Now, Joe Biden gets into trouble, spends 30 seconds looking for a mask. Now, and it is an outdoor rally. That's the even worst part. They said you don't have to wear your mask if you're outside and you're fully vaccinated, right? Anyways, whatever. Wrapping up an outdoor rally in Georgia on Thursday night, fully vaccinated President Joe Biden spent 30 seconds looking for his mask, only to later realize it was in his pocket the entire time. Speaking of drive-in rally in Georgia, Biden stayed behind the lectern as the music blared, ruffling through his binder on the hunt for his face covering. Alright, Senator Ralph Warnock, Democratic Georgia, Senator John Ossoff, Democratic Georgia, and First Lady Joe Biden walked onto the stage, waving to the sea of cars. Moments later, Joe Biden joined her husband in his search for his mask, flipping through the president's binder. I'm looking for a mask. I'm in trouble, Joe Biden said in the microphone. Moments later, the president appeared to pull the cloth out of his pocket and held it high in the air for all to see. Okay, great, I guess. It wasn't the only awkward moment for the president at the start of his speech. Biden was interrupted by protesters heckling him about private detention centers. Shortly after Biden was introduced by First Lady Joe Biden, the people in the crowd began shouting, "End detention now," interrupting the Biden president's remarks. Again, so obviously you have people there that don't like you, and you can't even remember where you put your mask. How do you not know where you put your mask at? And the fact that you spend 30 seconds looking for it and it's in your pocket the entire time, why is this not breaking news? Our president of the United States is falling apart right before our very eyes. He was horrible when he got in office, and now he's even worse. Alright, this man cannot walk upstairs. He's tumbled twice now. Alright, the second one didn't really make the media coverage that the first one did. First one, he clearly fell. And got up, fell again, got up, fell again, and then got up and fell again. Then he finally got up the stairs and waved. Alright? Second one, he tripped twice, but he actually caught himself both times. And here, he spends 30 seconds looking for a mask that was in his pocket the entire time. Alright, that's a new one. Alright, I was wanting to do an update on Andrew Brown Jr. It was not really an update, but for all the people out there in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, what are y'all doing? Y'all don't even know the body camera. You haven't seen the body camera. You don't know what happened. So why are you out there protesting? Like, y'all are out there blocking traffic. Y'all out there running in the road, acting a fool, screaming in microphones. What are y'all doing? Y'all don't know anything about what happened. Alright, just because a witness said he was shot in the back of the head, that seems crazy. Oh my god, I was shot a black man in the back of the head. But DA came out and said that he was shot in the back of the head because not only did he hit officers with the vehicle once, he hit officers with the vehicle twice. and that's why he was shot in the back of the head. So you can claim that it's racist, but if you hit officers twice in the back of the head and the bat, or try to run over officers twice, you're probably gonna get shot. And it just so happened that one of those bullets hit him in the back of the head, and 4 others shot him in the arm. That's just how it is. Don't, like, if you wouldn't even been running from the police to start with, you wouldn't even be in that predicament. Now, from what I've seen and what I've heard, there was a law enforcement officer truck that was actually blocking the driveway so he couldn't leave. So he would have to have backup to get out. But again, when more information comes out, I will put my personal opinion out there on that. But because you got so many people saying, if you got witnesses saying he was shot and murdered, you got the family saying he was shot and murdered, you got the district attorney saying, coming out saying that, you know, he was hit, he tried to hit officers twice, and, you know, they fired in self-defense. You got witnesses saying they were just firing bullets. Even after he hit the tree, they're still firing bullets. So, until I see the body camera footage, I am not going to put my opinion out there. Now, as far as what happened in Houston, Texas, with the human smuggling that appeared to be happening, not too much information is going out with that. They are talking about coronavirus a lot because 5 of them actually tested positive for coronavirus, which, to me, you know, you got 90-something people in there, and you only got 5 people who tested positive for coronavirus, which says a lot right there. You know, if coronavirus is so deadly and so, you know, spreadable, why did only 5 of them have coronavirus after there were 90-something people in there? Alright? Now, just to go a little further into it, the home is located in a 12200 block of Chessingham Drive at South Kingston Drive. Alright, neighbor said, I walk this road when I'm usually out walking. No inclination of anything going on. It's a quiet neighborhood. That's why we're here. Alright, police said 5 of the 91 people found inside the residence tested positive for COVID-19. Again, you have 5 people who tested positive for COVID-19 out of 91. Big deal, alright? That's, again, if coronavirus is so deadly and so contagious, why did only 5 of them have it out of 91? Alright, the health department is headed to the home and they performed rapid tests as of 1:45 p.m. No one has been brought out of the home, and police have not been able to separate victims from potential suspects. Out of 91 people found inside the home, 5 are female and the rest are male. None are children, the oldest is in late 30s. Okay, so, you know, this seems like they were trying to get him here illegally. Because if there's only 5 female, you know, you would think there'd be more females than males because they use them for sex trafficking, sex games, stuff like that. There's no kids, so these people were probably on their own or a couple with no kids. Alright. Now, it's a 2-story house. People were spread out upstairs and downstairs. They were huddled together and told police they haven't eaten in a while. Police said, aside from some mattresses on the wall, the inside of the house appeared to be in good shape. Authorities attempting to identify who's who, as they have reason to believe suspects trying to blend in with everyone else. Police and Houston firefighters providing them with food, water, and medical attention. Police said they received a tip last night about a possible kidnapping. All night, officers worked to find the location of the victim. Police obtained a search warrant and a tactical SWAT members in the house and found it was a human smuggling event. Alright, so obviously it seems like these people were trying to get in illegally. I don't think it's necessarily a sexual traffic thing because there would be more women, there would be more kids. There's no kids, there's only 5 women. So again, I think these people were smuggled in here illegally. Like they said, they're trying to blend in with everybody else. So, again, they're trying to blame it everybody else for a reason because they don't want to go back to wherever they came from, Guatemala, Mexico, whatever case may be. They don't want to go back, which is why they're trying to blend in with everybody else. But we'll see how that all folds, and as more information comes about to bring that's going to be a drawn out process of actually what happens there. But again, I don't necessarily think it's anything to do with sexual thing. I think it's just a migrant thing. Now, speaking of this, Border Patrol nabs gang members including MS-13 attempting to enter U.S. part of a migrant wave. Alright, so this is not the first time an MS-13 gang member has been caught. There's been multiple of them caught. But Biden still doesn't want to do anything about the border. And Kamala Harris hasn't talked about the border since she was called out. I mean, it's been over a month now since she's talking about the border. Where is she? Where is Kamala Harris? Why isn't she talking to nobody? She loves to go talk to presidents in other countries, but she can't talk to us. That's weird, right? Now, a Border Patrol Sector Chief this week issued a snapshot of the number of gang members potentially coming into the U.S. as part of the migrant wave surging to the southern border, amid concerns that members of vicious gangs like MS-13 could be getting into the U.S. Alright, 5 gang members in 7 days, Laredo State Chief Patrol Agent Matthew Hardrick tweeted. Hardrick said that in Laredo, Texas sector, Border Patrol arrested 5 gang members in 1 week, including an MS-13 gang member and 2 members belonging to the 18th Street gang. They attempt to evade arrest by exploiting the influx of migrants attempting to enter our country, he tweeted, which, you know, obviously, if you're going to try and come in illegally and you're a gang member and a knowing gang member, that's the way to do it. Just flee with everybody else, right? Now, MS-13, also called Mara Shatrafa, was set up in Los Angeles by Central American immigrants and has expanded across the continent, particularly in Northern Triangle countries like El Salvador and Guatemala. Is known for its particularly horrific and gruesome crimes, and its motto is said to be Mata, Valia, Control, which means kill, rape, control. Yeah, that's really the kind of people that we want living in America, right? And how many of them are in New York? There are probably hundreds of them in New York. Because think about, a lot of crime in New York comes from them. They're like, oh, MS-13 gang members kill lady, they stab a lady. Or most recently, a couple weeks ago, MS-13 gang member in New York City, there were about 5 of them who were caught after they killed a woman. They were carrying her in a bag to a trunk. And again, their whole motto is kill, rape, control. And yet, Joe Biden still thinks that the border is under control. But when you have these kind of people coming in here, what do you think is going to happen to America? Alright? There's going to be more illegal guns, which the whole gun control thing is stupid. Alright, all you're doing is taking guns away from legally law-abiding gun owners. People who want to defend themselves and their families and open carry in case they have to use it. And, of course, are hunters. But you don't think about these gang members here. They have access to all these guns. Alright, gang members and terrorists and people who just want to commit mass murders, they will get these guns however they need to. And if they can't get a gun, they'll get a knife. If they can't get a knife, they'll get a bomb. If they can't get any of that, they'll use a car. They will find something to kill. And most times they will get guns. Being in a gang, you will get your guns. Being a terrorist, you will get your guns. Alright? That's just how it is. And if you are not in any of those, but you want to commit mass murder, all you gotta do is go on the black market, alright, or get ghost gun parts where it's untraceable. Like, Joe Biden is clueless on any of this. Now, more than 172,000 migrants were encountered in March, with a similar number expected in April. Separately, officials have estimated that approximately 1,000 migrants are getting past overwhelmed agencies every day as they try to track a surge in family units and minors. Think about 1,000 people every day. Alright, that's 1,000. That's 7,000 people a week. Alright. So you had thousands of people coming in every day. Let's just say I was worried about COVID-19, alright? Which I'm not, but let's just say I am, alright? These people are coming in. We don't know about COVID-19. That's going to spread it even more. Joe Biden should be thinking about that since he's so worried about COVID-19. The only thing he ever talks about is COVID-19 this, COVID-19 that. That's all Joe Biden ever talks about is COVID-19. Let it go. COVID-19 is not the biggest and the worst thing in the world. It's really not. But he continues talking about COVID-19 like the world's going to end from COVID-19, alright? But you got thousands of migrants coming in. You don't know if they got it or not. But you can claim the border is fine. There's nothing going on at the border, but in 1 month, they encountered over 172,000 illegal immigrants. In another month, they encountered over 172,000 illegal immigrants, and every single day, these people are getting past Border Patrol. Over 1,000 people are getting past Border Patrol because they're so overwhelmed, and Joe Biden does nothing about it. That's the whole problem. He does nothing about it. And the fact that they claim that Trump started kids in cages, which he didn't, but they were going to end that, right? So tell me this. Why are the kids, and not just kids, but men and women, why are they in a clear, see-through container where they don't even have mats? They're wrapped up in tinfoil as a blanket. Why? Like, that makes no sense. And again, Joe Biden's whole thing was COVID-19. That was his whole presidency thing. COVID-19, we're in COVID-19, but if that's the case, why are these kids like this together? And again, they don't have no mask, they don't have a mat, they're wrapped up in tinfoil. Like, I don't understand. Tinfoil. They are wrapped up in tinfoil, and you think that that is okay as a president of the United States. It's not. Like, I don't understand what Joe Biden's thinking is, and it's not even his thinking. Kamala Harris is doing all the thinking for him. He don't even have to think. All he has to do is follow her, and he is good to go. That's all he has to do. Alright, let me read through some of these comments here. Alright, peace out. I appreciate your support. Yeah, my channel is actually, knock on wood, seems like it's starting to grow more. YouTube, all these channels that were censored are actually starting to grow more. My channel's starting to grow more. Conservative Guy, Brandon Tatum, ABL, a lot of these channels, Adam Calhoun, a lot of these channels that were censored were not even growing. And now, over the past, some of them have been going for a couple months. Some had just started going back not even a week ago. But again, they're starting to grow now. So YouTube, as I don't know what happened, but we were all censored for a while. Some of us were just stuck at the same number. Some of us were just losing subscribers consistently every day. Some of us only lost a few thousand, few hundred. Me personally, I was kind of just stuck at the same number. But again, YouTube's finally starting to let channels grow back now, which is great. Again, who knows how long it'll last, but hopefully, you know, I can get to 2,000 before they started back again. Now I'm at 1,000, I believe 552, which puts me 48 subscribers away from 1,600, which means I'm 648 subscribers away from, or 548 subscribers away from 2,000. So if I can get that before YouTube decides to, you know, block channels again and all that, that'd be great. At 2,000 subscribers, you know, you can get a good bit of information out. Now I will say that YouTube actually took away my other channel for no reason. They just took it away. Now again, this channel has been censored twice. First time they deleted the video, second time they deleted another video and banned me for a week. And again, my other channel just vanished. I don't know what happened to it. It's gone. Again, I don't know. It's just disappeared, and that channel wasn't even as big as this channel. That channel only had 350, so I don't know why they went after that channel. I don't know. They just decided they couldn't get rid of this channel. What? This channel. I mean, if that channel only had 350, I mean, this channel is what, like 5 times the size of that channel, 6 times the size of that channel. So I don't know. Again, this channel has been censored a lot. So I don't know what YouTube's doing, but again, thankfully all of us are starting to grow again. All the people that need to grow are growing, so that's good. But again, I've been live for over an hour now, so I'm gonna go ahead and get off. For all my new subscribers, I was gonna give a big shout out to y'all. Again, if y'all don't see any posts from me in a while, I try to do a video every day. If I don't do one day, I'll definitely do one the next day. Unless something happens, but I'll keep you updated on that. So, if y'all don't see anything from me in 2 or 3 days, definitely just type in my name and make sure you're still subscribed, because YouTube will unsubscribe you from people. Now, again, I just want to give a big shout out to all my new subscribers. Now, a lot of y'all came from the shooting in Watauga, North Carolina. A lot of y'all came from Officer Corbin Seaward. Again, I can see it now that YouTube's actually taking the block off my channel because I'm gaining subscribers consistently. I'm getting, most of my videos now are getting into the 70s, 80s, 90s, 100s, and then of course I've had 2 or 3 videos lately in the past like 5 days that have been in the 2,000 to 4,000 or 5,000 range. But again, for all y'all out there, as always, thank y'all for watching. Y'all stay safe out there. And again, if y'all aren't subscribed to me, definitely subscribe. Or if you are subscribed and you don't see nothing from me in 2 or 3 days, definitely type in my name, check it out, because more than likely YouTube unsubscribe me from you, or unsubscribe you from me. But until next one, thank y'all for watching, and y'all stay safe out there.